The day my bag was stolen was supposed to be the best day of my entire trip. I had been planning this journey for almost 7 months. 7 months of saving every extra dollar, reading travel blogs late at night, and counting down the days on my calendar. My friends all told me the same thing. Holmes, you are too careful. Just buy your ticket and go. But that is not how I work. I like to plan. I like to know what I am getting into. So I planned. I researched. I prepared. And still, nothing could have prepared me for what happened at that market. My name is Holmes. And this is the story of the day I was robbed abroad. Abroad. That is an important word. It means in another country, away from your home country. I was abroad for the very first time in my life. This was my first solo trip, which means I was traveling completely alone, without family or friends. Just me, my bag, and my excitement. I arrived in the city on a Monday. My flight had been long and tiring, but I was too excited to feel tired. The moment I stepped out of the airport, warm air hit my face and I smiled. I could not stop smiling. I was here. I had actually done it. My hotel was small but clean and comfortable. I had a simple room with a bed, a bathroom, and a window with a beautiful view of the street below. In the room safe, a small locked box built into the wardrobe, I placed my passport. A passport is the most important travel document you carry. It proves who you are and where you are from. Without it, traveling internationally becomes almost impossible. International means between countries. I kept my passport locked away. I was very careful about that. I spent the first day resting and exploring my neighborhood. Neighborhood means the area around where you are staying. I ate at a small restaurant, walked along a river, and went to bed early. On Tuesday morning, I woke up feeling wonderful. Wonderful means very, very good. Almost like magic. I had breakfast at a cafe near my hotel. A cafe is a small, relaxed place where you can get coffee and food. I ordered eggs, toast, and a cup of strong coffee. I opened my map, an old paper map, because I like paper maps, and I found the market. The market was about 15 minutes away on foot. On foot means by walking. I put my wallet in my jacket pocket, not my bag, because I had read that pickpockets often target bags. The pickpocket is a thief who steals from your pocket or bag without you noticing. I was being careful. Or at least I thought I was. I arrived at the market at 9 o'clock in the morning. It was already alive with energy. A market is a place where many different people sell many different things. Some markets are small and quiet, just a few tables on a side street. This market was the opposite. It was enormous, which means very, very large. It spread across several city blocks and filled every alley and corner with color, noise, and movement. The first thing that hit me was the smell. Spices filled the air. Spices are dried plants used to add strong flavors to food. I could smell something earthy and warm. I could smell something sweet, like cinnamon. I could smell grilled meat from a nearby stall. A stall is a small outdoor area, like a table or a simple booth, where one person sells things. There were hundreds of stalls stretching in every direction. I walked in slowly, taking it all in. That phrase, taking it all in, means absorbing everything around you, enjoying every detail with your full attention. I stopped at a stall selling handmade leather wallets and bags. I touched the soft fabric and smiled at the vendor. A vendor is a person who sells things, usually outside or in an informal setting. He smiled back and said something in his language. I did not understand the words, but the warmth was clear. I kept walking. I bought a small souvenir, a little keychain with a symbol of the city on it, from a woman with a stall covered in bright trinkets. Trinkets are small, inexpensive decorative objects. I tried a piece of grilled meat from a man cooking over an open flame. It was spicy and absolutely delicious. I took photographs of the colorful textiles hanging from the stalls. Textiles means fabrics and cloth, the beautiful woven patterns in deep red and gold. I was completely happy, completely relaxed. I had no idea what was about to happen. And then I reached into my jacket pocket. It was empty. For a moment I did not understand. I reached in again, more slowly this time, feeling every corner of the fabric. Nothing. I checked the other pocket. Nothing. I pressed my hand flat against my chest, checking the inside pocket of my jacket. Nothing. My wallet was gone. I stood completely still. Around me, the market continued. People walked past laughing and talking. Vendors called out to customers. Music played somewhere nearby. Children ran between the stalls. The whole world went on as if nothing had happened. And I stood in the middle of it all, completely frozen. Someone had stolen my wallet. Stolen is the past form of the verb to steal. To steal means to take something that belongs to someone else, secretly and without their permission. My wallet had been stolen. I had been robbed. To be robbed means that someone has taken your money or your belongings by trick or by force, without you knowing or agreeing. Belongings are the things you own and carry with you. I had not felt it happen. I had not seen anyone touch me. There was no moment I could point to and say, that was it. But it had happened, silently and quickly, in the middle of that busy, beautiful place. Inside my wallet was my credit card, the card connected to my bank account that I use for payments. My local currency, that means the money in the units used by this country. A small piece of paper with the name and address of my hotel. And my driver's license, which is an official document proving I am allowed to drive. My phone was still in my hand. That was lucky. My passport was back in the hotel safe. That was very lucky. But my money was gone. I was in an unfamiliar city. I was completely alone. And the panic began to rise. Panic is that sudden, overwhelming feeling of fear. Overwhelming means too powerful to control easily. When you panic, your heart beats very fast. Your hands begin to shake. Your breathing becomes quick and shallow. Your brain feels like it is full of noise and cannot think clearly. I breathed. One long, slow breath in through my nose. One slow breath out through my mouth. I said to myself, quietly and firmly, "You are safe. Your passport is safe. Your phone is in your hand. This is a problem. And problems have solutions. A solution is an answer, a way through a difficulty. What do you need right now?" 3 things. I needed to find the police and make an official report. I needed to call my bank and block my card. And I needed to eventually get back to my hotel. First, the police. I looked around for someone approachable. Approachable means someone who looks friendly and open to being talked to, not too busy, not unfriendly. I chose an older woman standing at a fruit stall. She had a calm and open face, and she did not look rushed. "Excuse me," I said, walking toward her carefully. "I am so sorry to bother you, but I really need help." She looked at me with curious eyes. Curious means interested and wondering. "Someone stole my wallet," I said slowly. I spoke each word very clearly. "My wallet. It is gone. I need to find the police." She shook her head gently and spoke in her language. To shake your head means to move it from side to side. It usually signals no or I do not understand. I tried again. I pointed to my jacket pocket. I turned it inside out to show it was empty. I used my hand to act out, to mime, the motion of someone sneaking something away. I repeated the word stolen as clearly as I could. Her expression changed. Something shifted in her eyes. She understood. She pointed down a long street to my left. She said something in her language and then held up both hands, all 10 fingers spread wide. 10 minutes, I thought. She was telling me the police station was about 10 minutes away. "Police," I said, pointing in the direction she indicated. She nodded firmly. To nod means to move your head up and down, which usually signals yes. I pressed my hands together in front of my chest and lowered my head slightly, a small, sincere gesture of gratitude. Gratitude is the feeling of being truly thankful. "Thank you," I said. "Thank you so much." She smiled. In that moment, her smile meant more to me than I can fully describe. A complete stranger. We shared no common language. And yet she had understood me and helped me. I turned and walked in the direction she had pointed. The street was narrow, not wide, and still crowded with people. Crowded means full of many people in a relatively small space. I walked quickly but carefully, keeping my phone gripped tightly in my hand. I checked my surroundings every few seconds. Surroundings means the environment and people around you. I was not going to let anyone take my phone too. After about 12 minutes of walking, I saw it. A building with a blue sign. The word, police, was written in both the local language and in English underneath. I had never felt so relieved to see a building in my life. Relieved means feeling better or calmer after something difficult or worrying. I pushed open the heavy door and stepped inside. The station was plain and quiet inside. There was a long counter near the entrance. A counter is a flat surface like the front desk of a hotel or a shop, and behind it sat a police officer. He was a middle-aged man, which means not young and not old, somewhere in the middle years of his life. He had a serious, focused expression. Focused means giving full attention to what is in front of you. "Hello," I said, walking to the counter. "I need to report a theft." A theft is the crime of stealing something from another person. To report something means to officially inform someone in authority, like a police officer, about an event or a problem. He looked at me steadily. "English?" he said. "Yes." "I am sorry. I only speak English." He gave a slow nod and opened a drawer in the counter. He pulled out a form, an official piece of paper with blank spaces where you write specific information, and placed it on the counter in front of me with a pen. "Write name here," he said, pointing to the first line. His English was limited, that means not fluent, not fully comfortable, but he was patient and helpful. Patient means calm and willing to take time without becoming frustrated. I filled in the form as carefully as I could. I wrote my full name. I wrote the name and address of my hotel. I wrote the approximate time of the theft. Approximate means not exact but close. I was not completely sure of the precise minute, so I wrote the range. I wrote the location, the market, the northern section. I wrote a detailed list of everything that had been inside my wallet. It took about 20 minutes. My hand was still trembling slightly. Trembling means shaking in small, fast movements, often from nervousness or stress. But I finished every section. The officer took the form and stamped it. To stamp a document means to press an official rubber seal onto it to make it legitimate and official. He separated a copy, a duplicate version, and slid it across the counter toward me. "Keep this," he said, "for embassy. And call bank." An embassy is a building in a foreign country where your home country's government has official offices and representatives. If you are in serious trouble abroad, your embassy can help you with paperwork, emergency money, and guidance. Representatives are people who officially act on behalf of an organization or country. "Yes," I said. "I understand completely. Thank you very much for your help." He gave a single nod, and I walked back out into the bright sunlight. I stood on the pavement outside the police station. The pavement is the hard surface beside the road where pedestrians walk, and I looked at my phone. Battery at 31%. Enough. I dialed my bank's international assistance number, the special phone line that operates when you are traveling abroad. A helpline is a phone service dedicated to helping people with a specific problem. The call connected after a few rings. "International assistance, how can I help you today?" I explained the situation calmly and clearly. A situation is what is currently happening, the set of circumstances you find yourself in. Someone had stolen my wallet at a market. I needed to block my credit card immediately. To block a card means to deactivate it, to prevent anyone from using it for any transactions. Once a card is blocked, the thief cannot spend a single dollar with it, online or in any shop. The agent asked me to verify my identity. To verify means to confirm that something is true. To verify your identity means to prove who you are, to confirm you are really the account holder. She asked for my date of birth, my home address, my mother's first name. I answered each question steadily. "Your card is now blocked," she said. "We will send a replacement card to your home address." A replacement is something new that takes the position of something that was lost, broken, or destroyed. A replacement card. "How long will that take?" I asked. 5 to 7 business days, she said. Business days are the days when banks and offices are open and operating, typically Monday through Friday, not including weekends or public holidays. 5 to 7 days. I had 3 more days in this city. The replacement would not arrive in time. But the card was blocked. The thief had nothing. And that was what mattered right now. Thank you, I said. That is a real relief. I ended the call and looked up the address of my home country's embassy on my phone. It was about a 20-minute walk. I had no money for a taxi. A taxi is a vehicle that transports passengers to their destination in exchange for payment, so I walked. The walk gave me time to breathe and to observe the city around me. Observe means to look at carefully and notice details. Even through the stress of the day, I could see the beauty of the place. Wide boulevards lined with old trees. A boulevard is a large, elegant road, often with trees planted along both sides. Small parks where elderly people sat on benches in the shade. Old stone buildings with detailed carvings above the doorways. Stressful. That word means full of tension and anxiety. And yes, it had been a deeply stressful day. But I was handling it. To handle a situation means to manage it, to work through it without giving up or falling apart. The embassy was easy to find. It had a large official sign at the entrance and a security guard standing outside. A security guard is a person whose job is to protect a building or an area. He checked my bag carefully and waved me through. Inside, a young woman at the reception desk looked up at me and smiled warmly. I explained everything from the beginning. The market, the stolen wallet, the police report, and I held up my copy of the stamped form. The blocked card. The limited battery on my phone. She listened without interrupting. To interrupt someone means to start speaking while they are still talking. Do you have your passport with you? She asked. No, I said. But it is safe. It is locked in the room safe at my hotel. Her shoulders visibly relaxed. Visibly means in a way that you can clearly see. That is the very best news, she said, leaning forward slightly. Without your passport, this process would take weeks. With it, we can help you much more quickly. She processed a request for emergency funds. Emergency means a sudden, unexpected, and serious situation that requires immediate action. The funds she arranged were not a large amount, but they were enough to cover my remaining meals, local transportation, and any urgent small expenses for the next 3 days. She also printed out a small card for me, laminated in thin clear plastic to protect it, with the embassy's address, emergency phone number, and operating hours. Laminated means covered in a thin protective layer of clear plastic. Before I left, she gave me advice. Advice means helpful guidance or suggestions from someone with more experience or knowledge in a particular area. Keep a digital photograph of your passport saved to your email, she said. Digital means in electronic form, stored on a device or online. Keep a small emergency fund, separate from your main wallet. Separate means in a different location, not together in the same place. And write down your bank's international number and your embassy's number before every trip. You will not always have a strong internet connection when you need it most. I wrote everything down in my phone's notes application right there in front of her. Thank you, I said. Genuinely. Thank you. She smiled. It happens to many travelers. The important thing is that you stayed calm and handled each step. You did everything right. That evening, I sat at the small wooden desk in my hotel room. Outside my window, the city was lighting up as night fell. I had bought a warm bowl of soup and a piece of fresh bread from a quiet restaurant near the hotel using a small portion of the emergency funds. I was tired. I was shaken. To be shaken means to feel emotionally unsettled or disturbed after something frightening. But I was safe. I was warm. And slowly, I felt the tension leave my shoulders. I opened my notebook and wrote down every English phrase I had used that day. Excuse me. I need help. Someone stole my wallet. I need to find the police. I need to report a theft. I need to block my card. Can you verify my identity? I need emergency assistance. Then I wrote down every new word I had learned. Pickpocket. Embassy. Block a card. Verify identity. Replacement. approximate, navigate, emergency funds, laminated, pavement, surroundings, belongings. I put my pen down and looked out at the lit street below. I had been robbed, and it had been frightening in the moment. Truly frightening. But I had communicated. I had used my English, imperfect, nervous, slow, and help had come, step by step. A woman at a fruit stall. A patient police officer. A bank agent on the phone. A kind woman at the embassy. For different people, none of them knowing each other, all of them helping me find my way through the hardest day of my trip. That is when I understood something deep about language. We often believe that learning a language means knowing every word perfectly, speaking without hesitation, never making a mistake. But that is not what language is really for. Language is for connection. It is for those moments when you are alone and afraid, and you need to reach out to another person. It is for asking for help and being understood. It is for building a small bridge between yourself and a stranger, even when everything else feels impossible. On that day, my English, simple, careful, and full of pauses, was enough. More than enough. Here is the lesson I want to leave with you today. Panic makes you forget your English. Calm makes it come back. When something goes wrong, and sometimes things will go wrong, your first task is not to speak perfectly. Your first task is to breathe, to slow down, to find the most important words and say them, one at a time, clearly and without rushing. Even simple English, spoken calmly, will reach most people. You are learning this language for exactly these kinds of moments. Now, let me quickly review the most important vocabulary from today's story. Abroad, in another country, away from your home. Solo, alone, without companions. Market, a place where many people sell different things. Stall, a small outdoor area where one person sells goods. Vendor, a person who sells things in an informal setting. Pickpocket, a thief who steals from your pocket or bag without you noticing. Stolen, taken secretly and without permission. Belongings, the things you own and carry with you. Panic, a sudden and overwhelming feeling of fear. Crowded, full of many people in a small space. Report, to officially inform someone in authority about a problem. Theft, the crime of stealing. Embassy, a foreign office of your home country's government. Block a card, to stop anyone from using a stolen card. Replacement, something new that takes the place of something lost. Verify, to confirm or prove that something is true. Approximate, not exact, but close to the real amount or time. Surroundings, the things and people around you. Handle, to manage a situation, to work through a problem. Emergency, a sudden, serious, and unexpected situation. Patient, calm and willing to wait or take time. Laminated, covered in a thin layer of clear protective plastic. Separate, not in the same place, kept apart. Gratitude, the feeling of being truly thankful. That was today's English listening story. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you picked up some new vocabulary and confidence along the way. Keep practicing. Keep speaking. Even when it feels hard. Especially when it feels hard. I will see you in the next one.